Welcome back to Dodgers Dugout Live, presented by Mountain Dew Baja Blast, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball and Dodgers Nation. Get a Baja for a blast this MLB season and enjoy a refreshing splash of tropical lime flavor. On today's episode, Dalton Rushing opens up about the incident with Shohei Ohtani. What did we learn this weekend in San Diego? Also, Jerry Hairston Jr. joins the show talking about Dalton Rushing and Dave Roberts. Also, the new proposal by Major League Baseball in the CBA negotiations, why the players will never stand for it. All that more coming up next on Dodgers Dugout Live. This Dodgers team is going to 3.
Nothing brings us together quite like Dodger baseball.
Los Angeles wins it 3-1.
The Dodgers are ruining baseball. Let's get 4 more wins and really ruin baseball.
Oh my goodness! Shohei Ohtani! Whoa! Bounces one up the middle, bends to the back, over to first to beat the champ. You gotta knock him out. The Dodgers stand tall and win back-to-back titles.
Think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
Live from the heart of Los Angeles, this is Dodgers Dugout Live with your host, Doug McKain.
What is up, and welcome to another episode of Dodgers Dugout Live, the #1 Dodgers podcast and Dodgers show on YouTube. If you haven't yet, do us a huge favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, drop a like, drop a comment down below. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMac_LA. This is a live show, so definitely comment throughout. We'll answer all your thoughts, comments, and questions a little later on the 7th inning stretch. But there's so much to get into in the world of Dodger baseball, so let's get right into it.
Leading off, the hottest story in Dodger baseball.
All right, so first and foremost, the Dodgers take 2 out of 3 from the Padres this weekend. They blow them out on Saturday. They win on Sunday. And now if you look at the Dodgers' record this season, 54-30, the best record in baseball. They are 10 games up on the San Diego Padres, 12.5 games up on the Arizona Diamondbacks. And now there's a Dodgers team that has a really nice cushion in the National League West, and they still haven't played their best baseball. You're still down 2 of your best 4 starters with Glasnow and Blake Snell still on the mend. By the way, Blake Snell threw a 15-pitch bullpen over the weekend. Dave Roberts said that he would most likely not be pitching for the Dodgers until after the All-Star break, but did not rule out the possibility of closer Edwin Diaz making his way back. So that's a possibility as well. We've got, imagine Brazil lose the game today. They probably might lose to Japan. I just got this jersey because it was sick. Jordan brand. Don't worry, I got the USA jerseys too. But, hey, good times. But, yeah, this is a good week. I mean, Kyle Tucker, he had a really big game on Saturday, had the home run, had a hit on Sunday. Mookie Betts, he was incredible over the weekend. And Mookie Betts, he continues to really show that this is a different version of Mookie Betts' last couple of weeks. He did say after the game that he didn't want to say that he was, quote, back yet, and he still has a lot of work to do. But you see last 5 games, Mookie Betts, definitely a much better hitter. By the way, shout out to my guy BDR, Big Dog Robert Butler, for hooking up with these graphics and these assets. And you saw yesterday in the Dodgers 4-2 win, he goes 2 for 4 with 2 RBI. Then Saturday goes 1 for 5, had the big home run in the 3 RBI. So he really continues to hit. He really continues to show that he has started to look like that guy at the plate that we've been accustomed to for his entire career here with the Dodgers. A guy that's going to be a future Hall of Famer, and he's going to be wearing a Dodgers hat on his plaque. I mean, he's been that good in his career here. Just the bat hasn't been great last couple of seasons for the most part. But in his last 20 games, Mookie Betts hitting .291, 23 for 79, 5 home runs, 4 doubles, slugging .532 with an .881 OPS. And after a really slow start, Mookie Betts is an above-average bat. He now is a very good defensive shortstop. And now Mookie Betts on the season, his bat is right up over the 102 weighted runs created plus mark. So he's 2% above league average offensively. That's a big takeaway from this weekend. Kyle Tucker having a nice week. Mookie Betts having a nice weekend. The Dodgers taking 2 of 3 from San Diego. And look, what I always say about the Padres are your friend that at the beginning of the season, in the off season, there's all this hype around them. They're your friend that gets that gym membership on January 1st and says, new year, new me. But by the end of June, they're working out exclusively on their couch. That's what the Padres do, right? They're hey, we got a gym membership. Everything's going to be different. I'm going to have that summer bod. I'm going to have that 20-pack. And then by the end of the year, it's that same old dude, not winning, not doing their thing. But still, I mean, hey, that is the San Diego Padres for you. I found it hilarious that Michael King and the Padres did not challenge that call. Did not challenge that call when it looked like certainly they were going to have an opportunity to get Freddie Freeman to strike out in the 9th pitch of that at bat in that 5th inning yesterday. When the Dodgers, it looked like, hey, maybe they could have lost 2 of 3 with the way that the offense was going yesterday, but it was about that 5th inning that just killed the Padres. The Dodgers scored 3 runs on just 1 hit. Alex Freeland drew a leadoff walk. Then Chucky Robinson, he bunted to the pitcher, did not bunt successfully, but then Shohei Ohtani drew a 1-out walk. Paz was hit by a pitch to load the bases. And then Freddie Freeman on the 9th pitch of the at-bat on a pitch that would have been a strike had they have challenged it, would have been the 2nd out of the inning, and it would have kept it a 1-1 game. Freddie Freeman draws the walk to give the Dodgers a 2-1 lead. And then right after that, Mookie Betts on a 2-1 count, he singled to center to score 2 runs to make it 4-1 Dodgers, and that was the inning. It was a really good performance by Emmett Sheehan and the bullpen. They got the job done, and they get the win. So thankfully, the Padres are going to Padre. Sad Diego, and they're going to do what they do. But now let's talk about Dalton Rushing, because, like I said, that was the biggest talk of the weekend. How would Dalton Rushing respond? And today, the California Post, Jack Harris, they dropped a piece with some exclusive quotes from Dalton Rushing, and we're going to dive into this piece to see what he had to say, because I thought it was a very telling piece. A lot of really good information on there. And Dalton Rushing really took ownership. And as the title of the article is, Dalton Rushing takes ownership of Shohei Ohtani debacle. And some of the quotes from it that we'll get into, some of the quotes are really, I think, showing the ownership of this. And Dalton Rushing said, quote, "You never want to have a pitcher feel like you don't have their back." And, of course, this is referring to the 2nd inning when Dalton Rushing was visibly shaking off Shohei Ohtani after Shohei Ohtani wanted to challenge a strike, and that ended up being the right call. Shohei was right about that. And it says in the piece that Dalton Rushing was seated at his locker on Sunday morning, and he was definitely owning up to it. He said, for almost 10 minutes in an interview with the California Post, Rushing replayed all the things he wished had gone differently during a nightmarish 3-run 2nd inning while catching Ohtani last Wednesday. How he lacked a synergy with the right-handed pitcher on pitch calls, how he got crossed up on a pass ball that played a run, and most of all, how he showed outward frustration that seemed directed at his superstar teammate, losing his cool as the inning came unraveled. He said, quote, it's not at all how we want to be viewed as battery mates, whether it's Shohei, whether it's any of our starting pitchers. any of the guys in the bullpen. You never want to be viewed like that. The second inning was just complete chaos. Freddie Freeman said, "It felt like a roller coaster that was losing pins as you're doing loops. It just felt chaotic." And it said after lengthy debriefs and plenty of self-reflection since, Rushing wanted to take ownership of himself Sunday, stating, quote, "It's our job to make sure he really feels us on his side. Look, he's the greatest player to play this game, and he has every right to, one, call whatever he would like, and two, just attack the way he wants to on the mound, because no one on this earth can tell him that he doesn't know what he's doing out there. So we're going to move forward from it. I've talked to him a lot. Never in a million years could you ever have a bad thing to say about a guy like that. Never in a million years could you ever feel like a player like that is in the wrong. So it's kind of up to me as a young guy to wear the situation, wear it on my chest, get over it, move past it, and make sure that we allow a guy like that to do whatever he wants to do." He says that during the game, Ohtani said that he felt a hesitation with the pitches that Rushing was calling. So when Ohtani did gesture to Rushing to challenge a called ball, well, it was a one where it should have been a strike. So, yeah, I mean, I think this is the right thing for him to do, is to come out and make some quotes about this and make sure that he knows this. Freddie Freeman said about Dalton Rushing, "We all love Dalton, but it's an emotional guy when he plays, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just sometimes we got to rein it in and not let it spiral, because if you spiral during the game, you're taking out every at-bat. Then he's hitting himself in the dugout. Then there's no way you can have a clear mind when you're trying to catch." So the leadership of Freddie Freeman, I think, is massive there too. Mark Pryor said he cares deeply about his pitchers, so that's definitely a positive. Pryor would also say the other day it was an unfortunate experience that played out for everybody. Nobody is going to shy away from that, but also you take those moments and you learn from them, and hopefully you're better off moving forward because of it. Sometimes you have to have those moments to get through the other side as well. So, yeah, I mean, I think that this really speaks a lot about Dalton Rushing, man. It really does. I think he really owned up to this thing. There's some great quotes in this. Highly recommend going and reading this article by Jack Harris of the California Post. He finished with saying, "Whether I'm right, whether he's right, whether we're both wrong, whether we're both right, it doesn't really matter. It's my job, whether I'm 25 years old or 35 years old, to say, look, I'm wearing this. This is my fault. I need to move forward. I need to grow from this. And I need to make sure we bring good out of this." As crazy as it sounds, there is a way to bring good out of something like that. So, yeah, I'm really look, I know that people have had these really bold takes about Dalton Rushing. They're not happy about it. They think that that this guy is a major villain. And sure, I understand it. I mean, like I said, the intern should not call out the CEO. The rookie point guard should not tell Michael Jordan what to do. Shohei Ohtani is an absolute baseball god. I mean, that's what he is. And in that situation, it's obvious that what he did was not right. But I also think, too, that you shouldn't get a life sentence for a crime that wasn't a felony. And that was not a felony by Dalton Rushing. It just wasn't. Like, it was a mistake. It was bad. It was egregious. But, I mean, look at how Shohei responded to it. Shohei was seen in the dugout talking to Dalton Rushing for a good amount of time. Also, after Dalton Rushing hit the home run on Saturday, it was Shohei Ohtani on the on-deck circle that gave him a high five, pat on the butt, and a smile. I've also heard internally that Shohei wants to move on from this and that he doesn't carry this big grudge for it. So, hey, you don't have to forgive Dalton Rushing if you don't want, but Shohei Ohtani already has, and the greatest player to ever play has moved on, and his teammates fully support him. And this whole narrative that Dalton Rushing is not respected and beloved by his teammates is just not true. That's a take from someone on the outside that doesn't know the inner workings of the Dodgers or this team, period, point blank, end of story. So I can tell you that Dalton Rushing has a place on this team, and his future in this organization. And I think that it is incumbent upon him to grow from this and move on from this, and we understand that for sure. So, yeah, I mean, I like that they handled this the way they did so quickly. We'll be interested to see if he does catch on Wednesday when Shohei is supposed to make his next start, and Dave Roberts did say that he expects him to. So hopefully he does, and if he does, hopefully he pitches well to him. And, yeah, here we go. This one says cancer has to be cut out. So you can have that opinion. The team doesn't feel that way. And the players on his teammates don't feel that way either. So I get it. Everyone has to have that guy that has to be the villain, and everyone has to have that guy that you just, I mean, for the Dodgers in general, there's always that one villain, no matter what, a player that's struggling or a player that calls out Shohei. You know, of course, it can't all be sunshine and rainbows, right? I fully understand that, but I never forgive anyone. Okay. All right. So other news kind of looking at this week for the Dodgers, I do want to get to a quote of Jerry Hairston Jr., who got caught up with a couple of days ago and talked about this. And we played a little bit of it yesterday, but here's some more on Jerry Hairston Jr. When he was discussing just how this is from a player's perspective. I mean, what is this like from a player's perspective? And I found it really interesting because I think if you are Dalton Rushing, you are this organization, that it's definitely something that I think comes across as, sure, we made this pact to make sure that we support him, and we made this pact to kind of move on from this as well. So I think that's the thing too. I mean, I think that really this is how many organizations would just kind of break from this, right? Where it would be like, oh my goodness, it's so terrible. What are we going to do here? But the Dodgers are a different story. So let's hear from Jerry Hairston Jr. We'll get this queued up, see what's going on here. And then we'll get it popping. 1 second, guys. Keep going on the chat. Let's hope Tucker's had a nice reset. Yeah, I mean, he looked a lot better. He certainly looked a lot better over the weekend. He still said he didn't love his swings, but I think he's a guy that's kind of hard on himself in a good way, because he knows what it looks like when he's at his best. He knows what it looks like when he's locked in, and they need him to be locked in. Let's be honest. I mean, it's good to see Mookie turning around. It's good to see Freddie Freeman having the success that he's had this season, but he absolutely, they need him to be the player that they expected. I mean, they need him to be the hitter, that guy. I don't know about you guys, but I want to see Kyle Tucker batting in the 2-hole. I want to see Andy Pages move down. I think that is kind of what you have to do with this team. I think you definitely want to have that and that be the case. But, all right, here we go. We got me and Jeff P. Wow, why would I be beef with Jeff P? He was on my show. He was on my radio show a couple days ago. I love Jeff Passan. Yeah. I don't know what's going on with this little thing. 1 second. D-Mac, Brazil's losing. I know. I saw that. That was a great goal. I wonder if our Dodgers. Oh, I know they have to be, right? You know our Dodgers players are definitely watching that right now. You know Yamamoto, Roki, and Shohei and the whole gang. They got to be somewhere catching that game. Proud of their fellow countrymen representing. Great stuff out there. Who do you guys think is going to win the World Cup, by the way? Let me know down below. Who do you guys think is going to win the World Cup? Are you guys locked into the World Cup? I saw the last couple of days lots of people commenting on the show, so it seems like you guys are.
Well, I think, listen, pitchers and catchers have a great rapport, okay? And they talk about the game plan. And they know that, let's say, if things change throughout the course of a game, you may have to deviate from that game plan. Maybe they don't talk about the ABS as much or as often. So, obviously, historically, Shohei Ohtani has been throwing to Will Smith a lot more. Obviously, Will Smith is on the IL. And maybe now Shohei Ohtani is starting to learn Dalton Rushing and vice versa. Dalton Rushing is really starting to learn Shohei Ohtani. Now he's understanding that Show wants to be aggressive with the ABS. And I will say this, Show being a hitter as well, Show being a pitcher, we know that Show understands the strike zone extremely well. So let's say Shohei Ohtani wants to challenge a pitch in the second or third inning. As a catcher, I know that Show knows the strike zone. So if he wants to do it, let's do it. Okay. So I think now Dalton Rushing is starting to understand it. But then on the flip side, Dalton Rushing as a catcher, hey, it's the third inning, it's the fourth inning. We want to make sure we save our challenges for the later of the game. But listen, you got to understand, Shohei Ohtani understands the strike zone probably as good as any pitcher because he's also an elite hitter. So I think you're going to see Dalton Rushing in the future really adhere. If Shohei wants to do it, boom, let's do it.
So that's that good Jerry Harrison, former player, former Dodger World Series champion perspective. You also share more thoughts on how they handle it.
Basically what Freddie Freeman did, what Dave Roberts did. Listen, you want guys to care. At the end of the day, Dalton Rushing wants to perform at a high level. He wants to win. We know Shohei Ohtani wants to win. And if you're going to iron out certain things, make sure we iron it out under the tunnel, in the clubhouse, not kind of for the world to see a little bit. Listen, I've been on teams where guys physically fought, but they fought in the locker room. They fought under the tunnel. It's the nature of the beast. And here's another thing too. This is good. This is a great thing. You need stuff like this happen. And listen, I have two brothers, okay? We have argued before. I love my brothers. You know what I'm saying? I have cousins. I love my cousins. We have argued. We have fought. When we were younger, me and my brothers fist fought. But at the end of the day, you hug it out. You hash it out. That's the nature of the beast. We understand these players are with each other more often than they are with their own families every single day. So things are going to come up, but you want things to come up so you can hash it out. The last thing you want is guys, and guys really don't do this, but if they do, they snicker behind a guy's back, talking, and then you have something festering, that we don't want that at all. If you have a problem with a player, if you have a problem with your teammate, you hash it out right away. I think that's what maybe Freddie Freeman was talking about with Dalton Rushing. Hey, we're learning from this. Shohei Ohtani was great as well. Dalton was great, addressing it after the game right away, saying, you know what, it's on me, it's my fault. And I really admire Dalton Rushing for saying that. I really do. And Shohei Ohtani could have showed him up a little bit more. He didn't. Show didn't show him up. There is nothing wrong with guys having a hashing out throughout the game. It happens. It's sports. It's pressure. But you love guys being able to hash it out and work through it.
There's Jerry Harrison Jr. on Dalton Rushing. Also, I asked him about the Mets firing Carlos Mendoza after a 34-47 start. The Mets manager canned. And we're going to talk a little bit about the new proposal in the ongoing CBA negotiations. They're going to last for the entire year, so I wouldn't take too many of these ones very seriously. You're probably not going to see serious negotiations until next March, if we're being completely honest, but it does put things into perspective for Dave Roberts, who's just a couple of wins away from his 1,000th win in the regular season as a Dodger. Already has more World Series titles than Tommy Lasorda. I think it's going to be an easy call when it's all said and done that Dave Roberts goes down as the best manager in Dodgers franchise history. And I say that because I think he's going to win another 3 or 4 more World Series titles. I think we're in the midst of the golden age of Dodger baseball. You still have Shohei Ohtani in his absolute prime. You have Andrew Friedman calling the shots. There's an organization that's going to go nowhere anytime soon. And here was Jerry Harrison Jr., someone who has played with Dave back in the day and around this Dodger team more than anyone, or as much as anyone really, and knows his players as much as anyone. Here's what he has to say about Dave Roberts and also some thoughts on the CBA.
If only there was a salary cap that could help teams like the New York Mets, the teams like the San Francisco Giants, big market teams that could help them be competitive. And the Brewers are always at the top of the NL Central. If there only was a salary cap that could help it. Listen, obviously, I'm kidding. It is It is not lost on me, and especially being in it with the Dodgers every single night and watching them perform. Yes, it's a big market team. Yes, they spend money. But having guys, the proper guys in place to be able to manage egos. Dave Roberts is as good as anybody I've seen in managing egos in sports. I'm not just talking about baseball. If you look at Phil Jackson, right? Phil Jackson was a rookie coach when he had Michael Jordan, right? Them growing together, obviously they won 6 championships. You guys know with the Lakers, right? Kobe Bryant and Shaq were young. Phil Jackson comes in there being able to manage egos. Yes, you need talent to win, but you need guys at the helm, at the very top, to be able to manage these type of egos. And Dave Roberts, for my money, is as good as anybody in all of sports today. Dave Roberts put his arm around Dalton Rushing. He could have easily aired out Dalton Rushing. Hey, you don't do that to the superstar. You don't do that. He could have aired him out publicly. He did not. He could have aired him out in the dugout. He did not. He put his arm around Dalton Rushing. How many times have we seen Dave Roberts go out there and kind of console a pitcher? Hey, I believe in you. I trust in you. Forget the analytics. How about when he left our guy, Blake Trinan, in that pressure-packed situation where analytics could have told him, hey, you need to get him out of the game in New York. He left him in there. Having the pulse of your team, having the pulse of your clubhouse, and also a lot of fans don't know this, but I know this. Dave Roberts also gets in on as far as, letting the players know, hey, we need to play better. In-house, we need to play better. Let's pick it up. He may not tell the world that, but he lets his players know, and the players respect that. So, again, it is so important to make sure, and the Dodgers do it as good as anybody, making sure, yes, you have talent, but you have guys at the proper places to manage talent, whether it's Andrew Friedman, whether it's Brandon Gomes, and whether it's Dave Roberts and his entire staff. They do it as good as anybody in all sports. Well, I never played for Joe. I have the utmost respect for Joe Torre. Obviously, I know Derek, Jeter loves him. Posada as well. They loved playing for Joe. And obviously he won. He won in those New York. And now obviously there were talented teams, but up until that point, they had talented teams back in the, mid 80s, late 80s, when they had Ricky Henderson, Don Mattingly, Dave Winfield. They never went to the World Series. But those talented teams in the late 90s, early 2000s, not only went to the World Series, they won. So Joe Torre obviously deserves all the praise, all the respect. And I think you got to put Dave Roberts in that class, especially if and when the Dodgers three-peat, something that hasn't been done since those late 90s, early 2000 Yankees teams. So in my opinion, Dave Roberts is the best in the business and sometimes gets overlooked. And I say it all the time, oh, he's with the Dodgers. They're supposed to win. No. There are teams out there that are high market teams that don't even make the playoffs, spend boatloads of money, don't even make the playoffs. And he not only makes the playoffs, they win it.
There are home runs and then there are blasts. This year, when a home run is blasted over 420 feet, you can score a free Baja Blast. Some of my favorite recent home runs have been Shohei Ohtani's 427-foot home run versus the Rays, Miguel Rojas's pinch hit go-ahead homer versus the Rays, and Mookie Betts' 369-foot home run versus the White Sox. Fans can visit BajaBlastHomeruns.com to sign up, add a Mountain Dew Baja Blast card to their mobile wallet, and redeem their free Baja Blast the day after a qualifying homer of 420 feet or more is hit anywhere nationwide. I'm always watching closely whenever the Dodgers hit a home run to see if it reaches 420 feet because I love cashing in on this deal. Follow Mountain Dew and Major League Baseball for live updates, exclusive content, and behind-the-scenes access. Here's to a season of blasts on the field and Baja Blast at the park. Enjoy Mountain Dew Baja Blast, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball.
And welcome back to Dodgers Dugout Live, the #1 Dodgers podcast and Dodgers show on YouTube. So you heard Jerry Harrison talk a little bit about the new MLB and the MLB Players Association. They're locked into these very intense collective bargaining agreement negotiations. The deal is going to expire in December, and the league's latest proposal, just to run down to you guys so you're the most informed fan of the game, it focuses on installing a hard salary cap and floor It really aims to reshape free agency. It completely overhauls the amateur draft. And here's some key points. The biggest one being the salary cap and floor. So MLB is proposing a hard salary cap at $245.3 million, a hard floor at $171.2 million, starting in 2027, along with a 50-50 revenue split. The MLBPA countered with a plan that includes higher minimum salaries, targeting up to $1.5 million. Right now, it's a little under $1 million, or it's like $790,000, and significantly expanding bonus pools for younger players while opposing the hard cap. The free agency changes. This is wild. The league proposed restructuring free agency by limiting players changing teams to maximum contracts of 5 years or 6 years to retain their own players. So similar to what Bird's rights are in the NBA, and capping them at 15% of a team's payroll. Additionally, MLB has pushed to eliminate heavily deferred contracts. So that's certainly something the Dodgers capitalized on as far as the deferred money. Shohei Ohtani's $700 million contract is famously deferred. 97% of it is deferred. So he's getting $2 million per year. And then starting in 2034, they'll be paying him a lot more than that. And then the amateur draft overhaul is interesting. MLB proposed eliminating high school players from the domestic draft. Under the plan, the U.S. and Canadian players would not be draft eligible until 2 years after their high school class graduates or at age 20. The league also proposed shrinking the domestic draft to 12 rounds and instituting a 12-round international draft, cutting overall amateur signing bonuses by over $150 million annually. So that's pretty crazy when you think about it, because, I mean, just look at a lot of the current players. I mean, you go out of the draft and you it's kind of like they basically having instead of a one and done, it's a two and through type situation, which I don't think they'll ever agree to. I like the minimum salary. I mean, the league has offered to increase the minimum salary by 28% from $780,000 to $1 million in 2027 for players with at least 2 years of service time. So, yeah, the union is going to be they're not going to go anywhere close to doing this. I mean, it's going to be long and ugly, and yeah, get ready. But I still think it's good to at least monitor the situation. Miguel Rojas actually did have some response. He said, it's been kind of annoying continuing to hear that we are the ones that need to take the hit for the league to be in better shape. So, yeah, I mean, the league is thriving. It really is. I think it could be better. It always could be. But to think that they're going to do that, have a hard salary cap at $245 million is kind of crazy. But I think the biggest takeaway for the Dodgers is, hey, let's capitalize on the current system where the Dodgers have an overwhelming amount of talent compared to other teams, and they're the most talented. They're the deepest roster in baseball. Let's go and add Tarek Skubal, and let's win 3 straight titles. Let's have a seat, because right now the Dodgers, one of the best runs that we've ever seen, but you can't say that they have a seat right now with the all-time great teams, right? You got a three-peat to do that, in my opinion. And I look at the Dodgers. I mean, you could make the case, but I still think you three-peat, and you could legitimately make the case that this is the best team and the best run in the history of Major League Baseball. So I look to capitalize on that if I'm the Dodgers, because with so much uncertainty. Even next year, I mean, even if you win next year, will we have to miss some time? We do not know. There's too much uncertainty. So parades over prospects. Go for it this year. And now let's go to you guys, and let's hear what you guys have to say in the 7th inning stretch.
The 7th inning stretch.
Okay, so yeah, do you guys have any thoughts on that? I think for me, it's so far out as far as how close they will be to agree on something that's almost insane to even think about. But let's see what we got here. We got what up, JY Kim? What's up, guys? Albert Guerra, D-Mac, with the way D. Rushing acts towards people of different ethnicities by his verbs and actions, do you think he sabotages Ohtani when he pitches? I do feel his ego is overinflated. I mean, I couldn't disagree with that more. I don't think, I mean, that's insane. So are you calling Dalton Rushing racist? I mean, that's insane. That's absolutely insane. Do you really think the Dodgers, who have one of the most diverse rosters. When you look at Japanese, when you look at African American, when you look at white, when you look at people from different Latin American countries, do you really truly believe that Dalton Rushing would be accepted in that clubhouse if he was racist? That's got to be one of the most wild comments I've seen on this show in a long time. That's wild to me. Sheriff Bart, what's up? We've got Foxy Cinnamon. What's up? We got if Dave can get 5 more World Series, he'll be the GOAT. He's already going to the Hall of Fame as it stands, but you're absolutely right. I mean, he really could go down as that. That's kind of crazy when you think about it. The Dodgers have a player that I think is and will go down as the greatest player of all time in Shohei Ohtani. But yeah, I mean, there is a great case to be made that Dave Roberts, depending on how many more years he wants to manage, could go down as the greatest manager in the history of the sport. And I know people think, oh, he's got a talented roster and he's got the keys to a Bentley. Well, guess what? You got to know how to drive that Bentley, man, and he certainly does. And he knows how to manage egos better than anyone in the game. And last year, I mean, you guys, no one has ammo against Dave Roberts because there's no perfect manager. All managers are going to make mistakes. But Dave was a big reason why they won the World Series last year. If it weren't for Dave putting in Miguel Rojas and going against analytics and keeping Rojas in the game in times when he did, if it weren't for Dave Roberts putting Andy Paz in the game, if it weren't for Dave Roberts putting Mookie Betts in the cleanup spot and being confident about it, if it weren't for the pitching moves that he made, Dave Roberts, it was an absolute star manager last year. And, hey, you guys can say what you want, but he was fantastic, man. We've got this is crazy. Yeah, Dalton, come on, man. Yeah, someone actually floated that. Who's floating? Someone who's floating that idea? No one that has. I mean, maybe someone who's a net loss to humanity would suggest that about Dalton Rushing, but that's insane, and that's honestly just stupid. That's just low IQ idiot takes. I know Dalton Rushing. I know that's not the case, man. I mean, just period, point blank, end of story. And also know I've been around Shohei Ohtani a lot too, and I know that if there was any possibility of that dude would have been exiled so quickly a long time ago. And listen to Freddie Freeman's comments about Dalton Rushing. I mean, would he say that? No. Dave, this is a great comment here from Sean Loves Aviation. Dave is a master in blending personalities. I like that. I agree with it. We've got floaters. Should be flushed. That's hilarious. All right, guys. We've got some more up here. I don't understand those who don't like Doc. I think we move on and get that World Series trophy from Jose Mendoza. Pika Peep. That's really been Robert's saving grace as an MLB manager, being able to deal with disparate personalities. Yeah, certainly. Lola says, Phil, the Zen Master. What is up, Nendo? D-Mac and Noel partying like Diego Maradona in the World Cup watch at the World Cup watch games. Yeah, it's funny as I'm playing with my that's in my nose right here talking about Maradona. Coincidence? I don't know. I think not. What's up, Art Carino? What is up? What's up, Keith Potter? We got 199. You missed a couple super chats. Really, I didn't see any. Other than that, I hit some yesterday. So, yeah, any super chats you guys can see. Awesome. Don Davis, I agree. We've got D-Mac. We have two-way players in the Dodgers, Shohei and Miggy Rowe. How about that? That was one of my favorite moments from the weekend. Miguel Rojas absolutely striking out or getting Fernando Tatis Jr. to swing and miss, an embarrassing swing and miss by Fernando Tatis Jr. And man, that Padres team, you think, oh, maybe this will be the series they get things going. Yeah, but yeah, you saw too. I mean, you can't waste. Yeah. Oh, I see people saying D-Mac about the challenges. Yeah, there was a moment in yesterday's game where the third inning when Freddie Freeman struck out, he was noticeably frustrated after Andy Pages had challenged a strike 3 call that was a strike, and that took away the Dodgers' challenges. So Andy Pages, he's got to have a red light, dude. Andy Pages cannot be challenging. He's in the challenge timeout right? Like, we got to have a little and maybe Dalton Rushing is a catcher, so he gets a little more leeway. But I think Andy Paz has to be in the challenge. I think Freddie would have been out possibly, to be honest. I think that's a strike in the ABS because it kind of touches the zone. But it was very close. It may not have been. But Andy Paz leads the Dodgers hitters in both total challenges with 14 and lost challenges with 8. Okay? So he can't be challenging stuff, man. At this point, you got to put him on challenge timeout. So, yeah, good one on that one. And Freddie Freeman, I believe, has a 100% challenge rate last time I checked. So, yeah, you got to put him on challenge timeout for Andy Pages. All right, see some more here. We got to Pages' challenge. That's from Keith Potter. Andy Pages needs to take a chill pill. Pika Peep Pages needs to go to APS challenge probation. That's from Pika Peep. Tamman Pages needs to stop trying to steal base. He got caught twice. Yeah, what's up, Dodgers Nation? How are you feeling? What's up? What's up, Dodgers Nation? That's from Paris Beach. Binary, you're wearing are you rooting for, I just got a bunch of these jerseys. I'm rooting for the U.S., obviously, but Brazil in the Jordan brand jersey. You know, I actually have my own name on the back of this one. Got McKain somewhere on this one. Number 10. It's not even an Neymar jersey. McCain's a very Brazil name, isn't it? But yeah, it looks like they're down 1-0 to Japan. Be cool if someone asked someone asked some of the players about that. DMAC, what are the probables for today? So the Dodgers continuing action. Monday, they're up in Sacramento, which is so wild. You got Eric Lauer going against Gage Jump. That's a crazy name. I love it. Then tomorrow, 6:40. All these games are 6:40 starts. You've got Justin Robleski going up against lefty Jeffrey Springs. So the Dodgers facing 2 lefties. And then Wednesday, another 6:40 start. The first day of July. You've got Shohei Ohtani going up against JT Ginn up in Sacktown, Sacramento. And then, of course, Sandwich Series. So you got another 3-game set, or you actually got a 4-game set Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with the San Diego Padres. So that is going to be fun. Weekend July 4th. How about that? You got a weekend July 4th. A weekend July 4th. And then you got a Padres series. Man, that is pretty awesome. All right, guys, we're running out of time, so let's get to the walk-off.
The walk-off.
Hits the ball to right field. She is gone!
All right, so today for the walk-off, did want to hit the Dalton Rushing situation again. I think is I think really telling about who this team is. And I said it the other day that Shohei Ohtani would handle this situation with class, and we saw him do that once again after Rushing hit the home run. He was down there. He was high-fiving and smiling to Dalton Rushing, and I really, truly do believe that the moment there was a calculated one. I think that Shohei is going to do something else. I don't know what it's going to be, but I think they're going to do something else to try to just get things right and try to basically move on from that distraction. This team has much bigger goals than that, and I thought they handled it the right way. Another thing, too, the Dodgers, how about this wild stat? The Dodgers haven't played an extra innings game this season. They're 14 away from the MLB record. That's kind of crazy. The Dodgers hold the National League record with the current streak of 98 games. I mean, that's wild. 84 games play. I mean, the Dodgers just don't play extra innings games, which is kind of crazy. Last night, there was a crazy Red Sox one, too. So, yeah. Hey, how about this? I like now playing extra innings games because that means my pitchers don't have to throw extra pitches. That means we win or lose in regulation, and we don't have to see the silly Manfred man runner on second. But, all right, guys, we will be back with you after the game. later tonight for the Dodgers Nation, Dodgers Dugout Live post-game show. So join us for that. Have a great rest of your Monday. You guys catch me later on the radio, by the way, in your cars. Set it at 97.1 The Fan FM, talking all kinds of Dodgers for 4 hours over there. Lakers, Rams, got LeBron. There's so much things. So join me on my radio show later. Call in. It's been really cool to see you guys over there having lots of fun over there. So definitely do that. If you want to support the show, hit the like button, drop a comment. Yeah, see you guys in a little bit over there. DMAC and Ryder, my radio show. And then also later on the post-game show as well. But thanks again, guys. As always, my name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. Special thanks to Big Dog Rob BDR producing the show. And remember that nothing brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.